There is an ocean of everything you want: success, power, and the most satisfying relationships. It's all available and waiting for you. This is The Zone of Action with your host, Gerald Action Jackson.
Today's podcast is about fear versus discipline. Fear versus discipline. The $50,000 lesson. Stingy and strategic are not the same thing. Let's start there because a lot of people confuse the two. They look at someone who does not immediately spend money and label them cheap. They see someone pass on a flashy upgrade and assume they are holding on too tight. But what they do not see is the mindset behind the decision. Stingy is fear. Strategic is discipline. As a radio personality and regional operations manager, I have had the privilege of seeing money handled in every possible way. I have seen large bonuses disappear in months. I have seen six-figure earners living paycheck to paycheck. I have also seen quiet, disciplined people build serious wealth without ever making noise about it. The difference is rarely income. The difference is behavior. Let's talk about $50,000. Imagine someone receives $50,000 unexpectedly. Maybe it is a bonus. Maybe it is an inheritance. Maybe it is profit from a business deal. The amount is not the point. The reaction is. The emotionally driven reaction goes something like this. I deserve this. I have been working hard. I need a better car. I need a break. So they upgrade the vehicle. They book the vacation. They buy the watch. They increase their lifestyle. Within a short time, the $50,000 is gone. The money brought temporary pleasure, but no permanent progress. Now let me be clear. There is nothing wrong with enjoying your life. I am not preaching deprivation. I enjoy nice things. I enjoy experiences. But here is the question you have to ask yourself. Is this decision building my future or borrowing from it? That is where strategy enters the conversation. Now let's rewind. Same $50,000, different mindset. Instead of spending it, we position it. We use it as 20% down on a $250,000 property. We place a tenant in that property. The tenant pays the mortgage. The property appreciates at a modest 5% per year. In year one alone, that property increases in value by $12,500. That growth does not require you to clock in. It does not require overtime. It does not require stress. It happens because you chose ownership over impulse. That is appreciation. Add to that the loan pay down from the tenant's rent and potential cash flow. Now your asset is working. It is building equity. It is creating leverage. It is producing options. 5 years later, at 5% annual growth, that $250,000 property is worth roughly $319,000. That is nearly $70,000 in appreciation alone on a $50,000 investment. And here is the powerful part. You still own the asset. That is not stingy. That is strategic. Stingy thinking says, I am afraid to lose this money. Strategic thinking says, how can I multiply this money? There is a big difference between holding money and positioning money. Fear holds, discipline deploys. I have watched people in leadership positions make short-term decisions that felt good in the moment but cost them long-term growth. I have also seen leaders delay gratification and build something far greater than anyone expected. This principle is not just about real estate. It is about how you approach life. Do you chase comfort or do you build capacity? The person who immediately upgrades everything when they get a raise is reacting emotionally. The disciplined person may still upgrade, but only after assets are in place. Strategic people understand something important. Money is not just currency. It is stored energy. And when you deploy it correctly, it produces more energy. Let's talk about mindset for a moment. Many people operate from scarcity even when they have resources. Scarcity whispers, spend it before it disappears. Scarcity says, this might be the only chance. Discipline says, this is a tool. Let me use it wisely. When you begin to think strategically, you stop seeing money as something to consume and start seeing it as something to control. Now, let me bring this into a real world leadership perspective. In broadcasting, we have budgets. We have marketing dollars. We have promotional opportunities. A stingy mindset would say, do not spend anything. That usually results in stagnation. Nothing grows. A strategic mindset says, where will this dollar produce the greatest return? That is completely different. Strategy is intentional. It is measured. It is patient. You cannot build generational wealth on emotional spending. You cannot create financial freedom by upgrading liabilities every time cash hits your account. The disciplined investor understands leverage. They understand appreciation. They understand that ownership creates options. Here is something powerful. The same $50,000 can create two completely different stories. Story one, 5 years later, the car is older. The vacation photos are memories. The money is gone. There is no asset. There is no appreciation. There is no equity. Story two, 5 years later, the property has grown in value. The tenant has reduced your loan balance. You have equity. You may have cash flow. You have options. You can refinance. You can sell. You can leverage it into another investment. Same $50,000, different behavior, different future. When I coach people on success, I always tell them this. Your financial life is a reflection of your internal discipline. It is not about how much you make. It is about what you do with what you make. If you cannot manage $50,000 strategically, you will not manage $500,000 strategically. Scale does not fix behavior. It magnifies it. Now let's address something important. Strategic does not mean you never enjoy life. Strategic means you sequence your enjoyment. Assets first, lifestyle second. Build the machine, then enjoy the fruit. The disciplined person understands delayed gratification. They understand that a short pause today can produce decades of freedom tomorrow. Fear says, what if I never get another chance? Discipline says, I am creating multiple chances. When you invest in assets, you are buying time. You are buying flexibility. You are buying control, and control is powerful. The disciplined mindset changes how you see opportunity. Instead of asking, what can I buy? You ask, what can I build? Instead of asking, how good will this look? You ask, how long will this last? That shift alone separates financial stress from financial stability. Let me speak to the professionals reading this. You are talented. You work hard. You earn well. But if you upgrade your lifestyle at the same pace as your income, you will always feel pressure. Strategic thinking slows the pattern down. You do not need to look rich. You need to become wealthy. Wealth is ownership. Wealth is equity. Wealth is assets that grow while you sleep. There is something empowering about knowing your money is working for you. Imagine 5 years from now, so looking back and realizing that a single disciplined decision created an asset worth nearly $319,000. Imagine that appreciation continuing. Imagine repeating the process. That is how portfolios are built. One disciplined move at a time. This is not hype. It is math plus patience. 5% annual growth does not sound exciting, but compounded over time, it becomes powerful. The disciplined investor plays the long game. They are not distracted by short-term noise. They are focused on trajectory. And here's what I love about this concept. It is accessible. You do not need to be a millionaire to start thinking strategically. You just need to decide that you will no longer let emotion drive financial decisions. When you move from fear to discipline, everything changes. Your spending changes. Your conversations change. Your confidence changes because you are no longer reacting. You are building. Let me close with this thought. Money amplifies mindset. If your mindset is emotional, money will disappear emotionally. If your mindset is disciplined, money will multiply intentionally. Stingy protects money out of fear. Strategic multiplies money with discipline. And when you multiply resources instead of consuming them, you create something bigger than comfort. You create freedom. Same $50,000, different behavior, completely different destiny. The question is not whether opportunity will come your way. It will. The question is whether you will react or position. Choose discipline. Choose ownership. Choose a future that compounds, because a future does not reward fear. It rewards strategy. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, JEROLDJAX, on Facebook, Gerald Action Jackson and Zone of Action. Check out the website, GeraldJackson.com. Happiness starts with you, not with your relationship, not with your job, not with your money, but with you in the zone of action.